says New York City's not doing well. It's just on fire. And I have to say, as a fellow flamethrower owner and enthusiast, can we please use our flamethrowers responsibly? Why is that so hard to ask for? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of important issues to get in this video, and that's why specifically we will be talking about the lockdowns, the new ones coming, and its larger effects on society and the way that we live our lives. And before we get into that, plus a lot more, I have to say, what in the world is Donald Trump doing, especially with a, quote, limited troop withdrawal? Again, we covered this disappointing issue in yesterday's video, but if I was him, I would literally bring all the troops home, declassify all the MLK, JFK, alien documents that you could get your hands on, pardon Snowden, Assange, Albrecht, and any other person that's in there for a victimless crime, and hell, let Biden justify reversing all of those actions. I just want to see him do this. He most likely will, but it would still be very poetic. Seriously, Donald, come on. Time is ticking here. A lot of people, myself included, will be disappointed if this does not happen. Imagine Joe Biden sitting there saying, nope, we have to send troops to Afghanistan again. I would love to see it, and if you would too, share this idea out there by continuing to retweet this message at Donald Trump. Now, this year has definitely taught us a lot. And your fellow conspiracy theorists look like they turned out to be fellow fortune tellers, as literally a lot of things that they've been telling us about have been either seriously considered or implemented in 2020. And we have to acknowledge here that with technological advancements, the world is becoming a stranger place, especially with the development of super soldiers and multinational corporations, along with globalists eagerly expecting their fourth industrial revolution with artificial intelligence, as they are literally trying to attempt to brainwash you to accept slavery. And what other way can you interpret the vision of the future by the World Economic Forum that talks about you not having any privacy at all and not owning anything? That's slavery. What else do you call someone who doesn't own anything and literally is spied upon by their overlords that tell them what they can and cannot do? Anyway, that's the future that, of course, we do not want here, and that's why we've been fighting it as effectively as we can. I think it's okay if people work and get to buy and own stuff. I think it's important for people to have privacy. And one of the platforms online that has helped me and you regain some sort of element of that privacy is, of course, the Brave browser. I absolutely love this browser. In my opinion, it is way better than Firefox. It is way better than Chrome. It saves you a lot of time and also earns you cryptocurrencies. And it's important to note here that Brave will be ending its affiliate commission deal in the next few days. Yes, this was one of the few ways that we were actually able to sustain ourselves. It is ending. It's specifically a program that if you use our referral link, and if you use it for over 30 days, you, for downloading it and using it, earn rewards, and so do we with our specific link. This is ending soon, so if you haven't yet, please download the Brave browser before November 24th, the cutoff point, when, of course, the program will be ending. Now's your chance, more than ever, to get directly in the game, and seriously, this is an amazing browser. I can't recommend it enough. Get it while you still can. The link, of course, will be down in the description and the comments down below. Just click, download, use it. If you do so for over 30 days, this helps us out tremendously, and I definitely think you will when you find out how amazing and awesome it actually is. Also, if you're looking for our Jeffrey Epstein holiday merchandise, you have to go through a special link, by the way. So if you're looking for great holiday shirts, sweaters, t-shirts like the one that you're seeing right now in front of your screen that celebrate the holidays and how absolutely full of crap the government is, please check out the special link that you have to go through down in the description as well. Now, of course, we don't hear a lot about this in the mainstream media, but it's important to note here that there have been massive, huge protests supporting a larger movement against lockdowns all throughout the world, specifically in Europe, where new protests unfolded in Berlin, where the police literally launched water cannons on peaceful protesters, doing this all in the name of, quote, public safety, which is an absolute oxymoron. Again, the police officers arresting you. Again, police officers crowding you, jumping all over you, throwing you to the ground, piling up on top of you for the crime of not social distancing is absolutely ridiculous. Many people recognize it, and there has been many movements against these lockdowns all throughout Europe. If you look at the numbers of people here in Berlin, it is absolutely astounding to see this massive movement with such a little amount of press regarding it. And the most important lesson that people need to understand here is that your protest, your voice, your actions absolutely matter here, and they have been having an effect, as we've seen recently in Dusseldorf, where a court ruled against some of the government mandates there. In Denmark, the government abandoned a law that would force medications on the general public, mainly because of massive protests that have been happening there for many days in a row. Now, while all of this is happening here in the United States, some politicians are enacting even stricter and more severe lockdowns on its population. All the while, most of them don't even follow the own rules that they set up themselves. And just like the satirical online paper Babylon Bee said, poking fun at this situation with a fake article headlined, quote, "Politicians officially exempt from lockdown rules since lizard people can't catch the Conholio sickness." And in 2020, in this modern day and age, who knows? they might be right. But again, we have to understand here, there has been a huge wave of just utter hypocrisy by politicians like Senator Dianne Feinstein, the very powerful Cuomo family, the mayor of Chicago, and of course, most recently, most notably, the governor of California, that after designating the most severe restrictive lockdowns, causing tremendous havoc and suffering to average day human beings living in his state, well, he just decided he's going to go to a Michelin star restaurant for a birthday party where he's going to have dinner with a group of 12 people indoors without wearing masks, without social distancing. All of this as he is literally telling everyone that they can't have Thanksgiving, and if they do, they have to have it outside. Yes, the governor that keeps telling you to wear a mask, but doesn't himself, is out having lavish nights on the town with even Californian Medical Association officials, government fat cat bureaucrats who are imposing these restrictions, but not following it themselves. Yeah, I'm sorry, but why should people follow your made-up decrees when you don't even follow them yourselves? And he still continues to force the most restrictive government control of average human beings' life, criminalizing it. People have been made criminals for simply living their lives doing 1/10 of what the governor does. And the governor deserves to be absolutely ridiculed for this, since of course he not only sets a bad example, but he's setting policies that absolutely destroy people's lives based off illogical orders that don't even follow the science. And it does seem like some of these politicians are just absolutely losing it, like we recently saw in Sri Lanka, where a politician bit into a raw fish to prove to his people that it won't give them the Conholio sickness. Yes, that's the image that you're watching right now. Other politicians don't seem to be doing any better, especially here in the United States, where we have New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is literally getting a raise and will be one of the most highly paid governors in all of the United States. All of this on the heels of his brother, CNN's Cuomo, running around town, violating the laws and rules that he sets himself, all the while he also, remember this, broke quarantine while sick with the Conholio sickness. But still, more restrictions are coming towards New York, as the government there is planning to close down schools now, which again forces parents into an extremely difficult situation, since many parents are forced to stay at home with their children rather than work. But expect that to happen to New York soon. There's other ridiculous Thanksgiving restrictions also announced there by the Governor Cuomo, though, which luckily some New York County sheriffs are speaking out against, saying specifically that they're not going to be enforcing these insane, draconian, made-up rules that are absolutely ridiculous and criminalize the average human being for living their life. But again, that's not stopping many of these politicians trying to force more and more restrictions and lockdowns as if this is somehow logical, and it's not. In the United Kingdom, they're talking about having an extra month-long lockdown that will, in exchange, give people 5 days of release for Christmas. That's literally some of the laws that they're proposing imposing on the population there. And when we look at them, when we look at just the logic for lockdowns in itself, they make no sense. What lockdowns are essentially saying is that it should be illegal for you to choose whether you leave your house because you could harm another person if they choose to leave their house. As Rob Schneider pointed out today, 148 Americans each year die by slipping in the shower. Therefore, we must immediately all stop showering now if we're going to use the same logic with lockdowns. And again, we just have to look at other examples of other countries like Japan, Finland, Norway, Sweden, that have took more of a logical approach rather than all these other countries that shut down every basic form of life. When we look at Japan, there wasn't any lockdowns there. People took individual precautions for themselves. Elderly people, sick people, the people at risk decided to quarantine and had assistance in doing so, which prevented the massive destruction, pain, and chaos that is being caused by a lot of these lockdowns. And we're even at a point where the United Nations is warning that because of these lockdowns, because of the economic downturn that was caused by them, this could kill hundreds of thousands of children. UNICEF even released a report that if the situation continues to go like it is right now, this could add an additional 6,000 children under 5 that could die every day. The cause of these lockdowns is a massive financial crisis that will have large ramifications for time to come that are extremely severe, and some people argue more severe than the actual sickness, as we have a finding from Brookings that details how already many children are left hungry in the United States, predominantly because of all the stoppages that the government has been enforcing. This is a severe situation with the direct fingerprints of the government on them. In the United Kingdom, the government's talking about literally, they're already acknowledging a disaster that could come in 2021 with a national food shortage. In the United States, we saw farmers literally dumping milk, fresh fruit, vegetables, and euthanizing, murdering healthy farm animals, pigs, hogs, cows, chickens, forced euthanized by the government under their decree, under their laws, which they demanded farmers did, all combined with horrible mismanagement and supply chain lines being mismanaged, which of course led to the price of meat increasing with a shortage of it in some counties in the United States. Now, luckily, this still didn't happen on a full grand scale, and only very few communities were hit in a very limited fashion, but this was all because of government intervention, which was ridiculous. I know farmers that literally ran to farms before the pigs were about to be killed and saved a number of farm animals illegally because of these government actions and directives. In Alaska, villagers are told they can't even hunt, which is a tiny example of what's happening on the larger grand scale of things. But with that happening, of course there's going to be food shortages. Of course there's going to be price increases in the supermarket. And this is why we have some people warning that food shortages are coming back, as there are pictures of shelves in the United States right now empty in states where, of course, they are locking down. People are panic shopping, buying anything that they can because they don't know how long they will be locked down for. And again, in the United States, we're doing far off better than a lot of other places in the world. specifically Africa, and also specifically Cuba, as well as other socialistic countries like Venezuela, that of course will be more severely affected than us at first. It's important to look at those countries, Cuba, Venezuela, African countries, and how they dealt with the limited food supply. It's going to be important to keep an eye on them and to monitor them, which of course we're going to be doing here on this independent media organization. But seeing these new photos emerge, seeing more lockdowns being put into place by politicians who don't follow them, I'm sorry, this is not a smart thing to do. All of this with the massive poverty that's being created by these lockdowns is leading for a situation that could be an utter disaster. Like we saw the thousands of cars that are lining up all throughout the United States at their local food bank. Businesses, including restaurants, they are some of the most heavily hit industries that of course won't be coming back because of pompous politicians who gladly receive their paycheck from their constituents. Meanwhile, you as an average citizen, he might decide that no, you don't get your paycheck, you don't get to earn a living. We'll decide for you what is essential and what is not. And that is draconian, that is tyrannical, and some would even say evil. We're heading in for a lot of major, serious problems ahead, ones that powerful individuals are using to their own benefit to gain more power, to gain more money than any other institution has had within recorded human history. And that's why independent information is more important than ever. Don't let them win. Your voice, your actions, your clicks, where you choose to invest your money absolutely matters. Don't let anyone fool you to make you believe it does not. We've seen many incredible actions all throughout Europe actually have an effect on policy that matters. Don't give up hope. It's not too late. And if you thought anything I shared with you today was helpful or useful, please share it with your friends and family members. Even if it's not this video, even if it's an article or a meme you've seen in there, share it. Get involved. It's more time than ever to get into one of the most important fights of our lives, and that is the fight for free and independent information. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. This is why I love you. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.